Dad died. My aunt came to stay to support my mom. She rearranged the kitchen cabinets to be more efficient relative to where the stove was. After them being that way for 30 years, my calm little mom nearly punched her. In the wake of her life changing literally forever and for the worst, the last thing she wanted was more change out of nowhere.
I had a friend visiting over the weekend. She had a well-paying job at the time. I was still in college struggling to make ends meet every month. I had to work the morning she wanted to take the train home, so I told her before leaving to help herself with things from my fridge to make herself some sandwiches for the journey, about 6-hour ride. When I came home she had helped herself indeed to my week's worth of groceries. The only thing she didn't take was some milk and a quarter of a watermelon. I nearly cried.
The last time my brother-in-law and his wife visited, we found multiple things broken when they left. One big thing, the leg of a chair, and multiple weird small things. An ice tray, the handle of a spatula, a knick-knack. I obviously hated that they broke stuff, but I really hated that they didn't bother to tell anyone they did it. Especially the chair, which was a surprising find when sitting down in it. A new friend came over, laid on my bed with shoes on, with the shoes on my pillow. While I was in my roommate had friends over. One of the guests went through my kitchen cupboards. Each roommate had separate ones. Found a bottle of unopened whiskey and decided it was totally cool to crack it open and start offering people shots of it. No one saw him pull it out of my stuff, so they thought he brought it with him. I eventually came out of my room and he offered me a shot of my own whiskey. When I looked at the bottle, I immediately went to my own cupboard to check and called him out for just stealing booze and trying to pass it off as his own. He then tried to claim it was no big deal and I was being a bad host. I told him to go fuck himself, and after he refused to reimburse the cost, I kicked him out of the house and never let him come over again. Every time he'd try and come over with my roommates, I'd tell him to give me my money or he wasn't welcome. After a couple years, he kind of phased out of the friend group. Edit. Brought him up with my former roommate last night and was reminded that the whiskey thief's go-to move at restaurants was to order big, and then insist on one bill because it's easier on the servers. Then he'd just throw down some small bills and go out for a smoke, while other people ended up having to cover the difference between how much cash he left and what his meal actually cost. Eventually people started asking for separate bills, and dude was pissy that he had to pay his own bill.
My husband's friend was staying the night, and we woke up to the sound of glass breaking in our kitchen. It turned out he had grabbed coconut oil out of our cupboard to jack off with, and put some in the cup to take into the basement with him. His hands were greasy from scooping out the oil, and the cup slipped from his hands and shattered. That was a really weird and awkward conversation.
Opening the fridge like they live there and commenting on what I have. I hate that. Doing a sewing project on my couch and leaving needles in the arm of the couch.
My husband loves to bake. He spent the whole day proofing, folding, and prepping a bread dough for dinner. He shaped a few loaves and left them on the kitchen counter to rise one more time. On this day, my dad came over for his 6-monthly cry about how I don't love him or talk to him enough. As he was leaving, he squished all the air out of one of the dough loaves with his fist. He then laughed at my husband's face and walked out. He wonders why I don't put effort into seeing him. My mom would rearrange my furniture and decorations in the first house my husband and I owned. After the 5th time, I told her last, very clearly, that she was making more work for me as I put back the way my husband and I want our house to be, and is sapping and joy/pride of homeownership, and she can go back and decorate her own fucking house.
My sister once left an entire quesadilla under my couch cushions. Edit. We were both in our late 20s/early 30s when this happened.
Oof, loads. The worst one. Father-in-law and his wife are hoarders, so they have a bit of a smell when they visit. But this time FAL's wife had such a bad yeast infection and she would wear a dress without any underwear. She would raise her dress up a bit and bare acid on my furniture. It was so bad she had to use an entire box of Kleenexes through the night for leakage. I couldn't wash it out of the sheets and had to throw them away, had a mattress protector on it, thank goodness. Also had to call in furniture cleaners to get the stains and smell out of the sofa. Spoiler, we ended up getting rid of it. Other moments. 1. 2 different guests on different occasions rearranged my living room furniture. 2. MIL rearranged my kitchen while we were on vacation. 3. Had one guest borrow my car and smoke a cigarette in it. 4. One guest tried to tell the fence builders to place my fence beyond the lines that I had requested. 5. One guest tried to fix my light switch with duct tape, wood glue, and without turning off the breaker. He almost electrocuted himself if I hadn't stopped him. 6. They tagged along for running errands and decided they would drive my car when we got out of the store. They have bad vision and road rage, so I don't like them driving me. They refused to get out of the driver's seat, I refused to give them the keys. Had to wait 20 minutes for their tantrum to end. Never allowing in-laws to stay with me again.
Visiting dude kept changing the thermostat in my apartment. I was struggling to keep the anger out of my voice. He claimed he didn't know there's anything wrong with doing that because he's from Europe and doesn't have AC, but you still gotta know you can't go to someone's home and start changing things.
Bringing animals without asking, splattering piss everywhere because they are bad at peeing, and shoving used tissues under furniture instead of throwing them away. Pretty tame stuff, but still irritating. P.S. If you can't pee without your piss staying inside the toilet, sit the fuck down. No one wants to clean up after your rude ass.
Got so drunk, he pooped his pants on my sofa. It was diarrhea. We threw away the sofa. He's not invited back. Bringing a loose gun in the back of their pants to a board game party.
This is very minor compared to what others experience here, but coming from SE Asia, I always find it weird and rude at first when people help themselves to our fridge. My mom wouldn't even let her guests step into her kitchen. It's always, "What do you need? I'll get it for you. Please go back to the living room." Started using my laptop without asking. That's private, dude. Use your phone if you're that desperate. Wasn't password locked before that. I didn't live with anyone and it didn't leave, but it sure has been since.
The tiles in my bathroom are lit and colored in such a way as to show if there are any dry drops of pee around the toilet. My FL always drips pee on the floor and doesn't clean it. Maybe he normally doesn't notice. Well, this time he clearly did notice and tried to clean it with his socked foot as I could see toe streaks through the dried pee. He proceeded to wear those pee socks around my house. Ugh! So gross. Shouting at my dog for sitting on the sofa, calling her a bad dog and telling me about it like he'd done me a favor. Fuck off, mate. She lives here, you don't.
I was the rude guest and accidentally disabled a window while staying with family in Switzerland. They were very understanding about American windows being completely different, but had to call their neighbor to come fix it. I felt really bad.
Years ago, my ex's brother decided to get drunk and purchase porn through our living room TV. We nor his wife were aware he had done this, as we were all asleep in the bedrooms. When the cable bill was emailed to me, and it was like $40 higher, I never opened the detailed statement, just looked at the amount that was set to auto-pay and assumed the promo fell off, and they were price gorging again, as they do fairly often. I called and raised hell. Funny thing is they gave me a new promo and never confronted me on the porn charges. Later I went to the website to double-check the promo and realized what really happened, and I could have crawled in a hole. I was so embarrassed. I added a purchase pin to my TV and was completely sieved out and wanted to deep clean the couch.
Let her 2 years old eat chocolate biscotti and get it all over my new carpet. Accidentally wrapped up a piece of my silverware and took it home with her. Then said I was making a big deal when I asked for it back.
Hogging the fucking zipline. Using it all day. Being too hard on the rope, wrenching on the rope.
Dropped pills and never told anyone. Found several random pills under the couch and on the floor for 3 months. Everything from aspirin to blood pressure meds and heart pills. I have cats FFS. Person is now banned from coming into my home.
Not weird, but gross. I had pure rage. Stood there, picked his nose. Found gold, rolled it a little between his fingers. Then popped it in his mouth for extra shaping and taste. Then spat it out like a missile. It was so normal for him to do I don't think he even clicked he was doing it. Edit to add. Thank you for the award, kind sirs or madams.
A friend and his girlfriend came to visit me and my partner for brunch out, then board games at our place for a couple of hours after. Or, at least we thought that was the plan. They only live about 45 minutes away, it's not some crazy drive, a pretty standard distance for where we're at. They also don't drink, so they weren't getting tore up at brunch or something. Anyway, brunch happened. They come over. Warm-up board game followed by crunchy board game. They'd been at our place for 2 hours, so it's about 4 p.m. He pulls out another game. 90 more minutes pass. We don't want to provide them with dinner. We're doing all of the whelp, knee slapping, this has been fun, social cues. They aren't getting it. I take the dog for a walk. A long walk. No changes. Then they start talking to each other about whether they are going to stay the night at our house. They did not ask us if they could. It's only like 7 p.m. Go home. It's hardly even dark outside. It's not treacherous road conditions. You didn't ask if you could stay. It was the weirdest damn thing. We finally pulled some story out about how we had a busy day the next day and had to wake up early, and they figured it out. But we never talked to them afterwards because, like, WTF, man.
The amount of comments mentioning someone peeing or defecating in places other than a bathroom is alarming. What kind of guests are you all having over?
He ate all my sweets without asking, even though he had his own treats. And yes, he still hasn't admitted that it was him.
My mom's friend was staying with us for a weekend. She had the audacity to tell me to shut up because apparently I was being too loud while she was trying to sleep. I was in my room with the door closed, and it was a weekend. I'll hate her forever.
She looked directly at my dog and said, "Go away, Sandy. I don't like you." Sandy's crime? Touching her nose to their hand politely to ask for a pat. They even have a dog of their own. They know how dogs interact with the world. My parents' relatives came to stay with us. I used to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to work. Tell me why this mofo would hear my alarm and rush to the bathroom. He had nowhere to go. And I get ready in 15 minutes. So I started setting my alarm to 3:45 a.m. Same BS. He would go in and make the entire bathroom wet. I hated that guy.
Drank all my beer, the fancy craft brews, in the fridge, got wasted, and then peed on my robo-vacuum, which was nowhere near the bathroom. Had a new friend stay over until he could move into a new apartment. He only stayed 2 days while I was away on a work trip while he agreed to take care of my dog. When I got back, several items were missing, small items like a notebook, a phone charger, several shopping bags. When I asked about the items, he said he must have accidentally packed them in his luggage and would bring them back to me the next day. He never showed. When I messaged him, he conveniently was too busy, but would try to schedule another day to pop by. I kept trying to set up meeting times, he kept dodging me. I know it's just small items, but it's the principle of A, helping yourself to my things without asking, then B, ignoring my texts. To me, that's stealing. Needless to say, we aren't friends anymore. There's definitely a weird epidemic of people that think the world belongs to them / boundaries don't apply to them.
A friend of mine, mom and dad, used to come in and open the kitchen cupboards and just look around. The hell?
Rearranging the stuff I have in my kitchen cabinets. Family does this every time.
A friend of a friend was over, and mid-conversation, he takes off his socks, pulls out a nail clipper, and starts cutting his toenails in the middle of my living room. I asked him to leave.
My friend had a beach house in Florida. Her adult niece came to stay while friend wasn't there, and apparently used one of her pillows as a giant maxi pad during her period. Blood and gore all over it and tossed in the hamper to be found by my friend weeks later. My friend once stole around 5 granola bars sneakily. It was so odd because I saw her do it and she tried denying. If she would have asked, she could have had the whole box. It was it being sneaky that was so weird to me.
My parents are very well-meaning but very intense. I usually have to deep clean the house before they stay over, or they'll just arrive and start cleaning for me. One time I missed a spot and woke up to my mother walking into my bedroom at 7 a.m. the next morning holding a pair of pliers and saying, "It's amazing what you can achieve in life when you clean your shower drain." Not exactly hate, because they always do something that genuinely helps, but it was very embarrassing.
Shaved, and left whiskers all over the sink. Gross. Putting her dirty shoes on our dinner table where we eat.
We had a friend stay with us for a week and he brought his 4-year-old daughter, who's one of those gentle-parented kids. She was one of the most rude, entitled, whiny kids I have ever met. She climbed all over our furniture with her shoes on and her father just let her do whatever she wanted. The behavior was unbelievable.
It irritates the shit out of me how my ML does laundry at my house. She starts the full cycle and puts in 2 pieces of clothing and she does it twice a day.